one grand final straight into another one. It's like Christmas came only a couple of days early, but I'll take it. And actually, first grand finals was, of course, a remake from last season. This one, same story here with Miss Harvey and Potter to prep ourselves for the action to come. And Harvey, these two teams making it to the grand finals, to be here again with the two of them, I don't think you're gonna see that as a surprise. Okay, you're also
can't talk.
biased.
I can't talk here. I'm
All right,
crowded
Potter.
with the CLG stuff. No, I agree. No surprise here coming out of NA. There was a little bit of an upset with Dignitas losing their run one, but I wasn't really scared for them coming back from the lower bracket. And today, the crazy thing is that CLG Red doesn't have any advantage. They're coming into the grand final, but it's a brand new best of 3. It's a brand new day, and Dig could potentially get away with it.
Yeah, and here we see the road that the teams have taken. And Potter, I know it says 2-0 CLG versus Cyberstorm, but we cannot forget that that was not that didn't happen. That was a walkover due to some scheduling issues. So the only data Dignitas have to go on this tournament is them versus CLG Red versus Violent Roses, which was an absolute beatdown, crushing, you know.
It was a bit of a beatdown. You're absolutely right. And that raises a lot of questions, I think. And it's a good point, is the fact that there's very little data for CLG Red versus these other ladies. And I think CLG Red in the past, at these showdowns, at these intel challenges, at these female tournaments, they've maybe played down to the level of their opponents a few times. And it's put them in these weird pickly situations where you know that they're the better team, at least I think I do, and they make things a little dicey, a little close. So I am curious to see what will happen, but as you say, that first series versus Violent Roses was such a one-sided affair. Emmy does not look like she's gonna slow down. Jennifer, these superstars on CLG Red are absolutely ignited, so it's gonna be interesting to see if Dignitas are able to actually swing back.
Yeah, it's also going to be interesting to see our map veto for this grand finals. Miss Harvey, you know these girls very, very well. Anything you would like to see from them? Anything you rather not see from them?
You know what? At this moment in time, I think that CLG Red is so well-rounded. Having played with Yuli for over a season in ESC Advanced nonetheless, they don't have much weak points, so let me just say that. So I'm really curious to see what's going to be the veto coming in. I expect CLG Red to be trying to get away with Dust 2, although recently they've played it in Advanced. See, that's what I'm saying. They recently started playing Dust 2 to avoid having it as a perma ban, a little bit like what Ixet was doing with Inferno earlier. So here it is. We have a train, probably Dig's strongest map. Although CLG Red ban Overpass, I think it's not we want to ban Dig's best map. We want to ban our probably weakest map. So leaving open train for Dig to pick it, and CLG Red picking Inferno.
Yeah, we've seen Inferno earlier today.
Yeah, two
well.
Infernos today.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the third map will be Nuke then for sure. Yeah, this is interesting. I think the train pick is kind of in CLG Red's favor as well. That was one of the issues, I think, with both of these squads, is the fact that they shared the Nuke and the train. Both of these squads really leaning into that one. So I'm glad to see that CLG Red bring in a different map. I think it was could have been telegraphed that it would have been Train and Nuke being in this series either way. So this, in my book, it just gives CLG Red an opportunity on all 3 maps coming into this series.
Looks like they got their work cut out for them. Now we know which maps were picked. Let's see what TwitchChat's gonna pick. Which team is gonna take these finals? We got hashtag CLG or hashtag Dig with your favorites to win this in the chat, and we'll come back to your results later on. But let's talk about these teams. We gotta start with CLG Red. They are the defending champions coming into this as well. And they have only gotten one showing, sure, Steph, but they look darn good doing it.
They look damn good, but if we go back to the first showdown, it was kind of the same, and they still struggled to win the tournament. So who knows what can happen, but that roster is probably one of the most positive and comfortable roster CLG Red has had in a long time. Yuli, that you see on your screen, is the newcomer. She has the most to prove, but at the same time, she's already BFF with these ladies and they believe in her. The ADR here is not looking that great for the last map, and remember, it was a blown out coming out of it. So these stats are probably a little bit screwed. And Emmy, though, Emmy with the new haircut was eating a lollipop throughout the last game. That's how confident they felt coming in. She didn't even need her full attention towards CS. So, you know, we're gonna see a lot of great things from CLG Red. It's all about, will they allow Dignitas to have a game plan, or will they shut it out right out the gate?
Will they shut it out right out the gate? Indeed. CLG Red coming in as the favorite also means, perhaps, Potter, they got a bit extra pressure coming towards them because they are expected to win. You feel like that might make a difference here?
I hope not. But again, it's something to consider, especially the fact that although CLG Red on paper, Steph mentioned it, they're in advance. They barely just missed out on playoffs a couple of seasons. And so they should be the heavy favorites. But sometimes that pressure, it definitely gets these ladies. They haven't consistently been number one in NA for quite some time. And Dignitas has been their kryptonite over that duration. So certainly, even though the weaknesses of Dignitas, we've seen it, right? The new fifth in Showdown, she had a fantastic series, a nice bounce back from day one, but you still have to consider that those kinks that they were faced off against the first time around versus Violent Roses will definitely be there. So for CLG Red, they're going to try to expose those time and time again.
Yeah, and let's talk a little bit more about Dignitas. Sure, they have some weaknesses, but let's focus on their strengths, Potter. You mentioned earlier this tournament that in the past, the strength of Dig was mostly, well, obviously, apart from their individual skill and team play, it was also reliant in their preparation and how they can come in with strategies that will rely on their strengths, where they can lean heavily into their strengths and bring out victories that way.
Yeah, and they've always impressed in that manner. Just the amount of trust that they have in each other. They always talk about trusting the process. Well, that process definitely got Dig on the map. That's how they garnered those upsets over not only CLG Red, but even Besiktas or Exet that we just saw winning the tournament over in EU just earlier today. So definitely for these ladies, I'm looking for that teamwork. I'm looking for that dependability where they can lean onto each other. And Thea, the newest, youngest member on this squad, she's been looking great. So many clutches coming out of this youngster to really give Dig an edge in a lot of these duels.
Yeah, Miss Harvey, is there any particular player on the side of Dignitas that you're going to keep an extra eye on, that you feel like is the biggest threat to CLG Red?
I do feel that Milk and Tia can be this player. You know, Rain is a great anchor, but I do believe that when Milk or Tia are on fire, they're really hard to stop. They do remind me a little bit of Galaxy Racer when they need more than one person to be on fire, though, to be able to beat CLG Red today. So we're gonna have to see everyone step up to face the Goliath, especially on the map picks. Because we could see another different Vito, a Vito that we might not have expected coming into this grand finals.
Yeah, we had Dignitas earlier this tournament at winter interviews, where they said the first series they played this tournament, they were a little bit struggling with the old wake up time and maybe not being properly warmed up. We're starting a little bit later than normal for them today, and we've seen the coffees on the table as well, Potter, so I don't think that will be an issue. Also, Potter, a question I have for you, because you were on the desk last time these two teams met in the grand finals of the summer showdown. It went to overtime. It was so close.
So close. Yeah, no, definitely so close indeed. I'm kind of expecting something like that again. Look, the possibility of CLG Red just taking away this series, just one-sided, is absolutely there. If they come in with that sort of confidence that we saw versus Violent Roses, where Emmy, as Steph said, had a lollipop in her mouth. She looked like an anime character just ready for that final boss. If that sort of Emmy and that sort of CLG Red show up, it's going to take so much for Dignitas to stop that force. But as I say, CLG Red haven't proven that they can consistently output that sort of performance, especially when the pressure starts to get to them. So for Dignitas, I'm expecting another 3-mapper here, Shiver. Those OTs, it kind of is synonymous with these two teams.
Well, I am all for it. I am all for it. And when comparing these two teams, we also, of course, have a US Air Force aim high comparison, Steph. We have chosen to compare Diane and Emily. What do you make of that?
Yeah, both in-game leaders, both uppers for their team. And as you may or may not see on screen, I don't have any stats to talk about, but I can talk about the players. These players are the backbone of both rosters. No matter what happened throughout the last 5 years, they were on that roster, keeping it together, and now they're leading it to hopefully victory. But look at that KD ratio for Diane. She had a tremendous series against Violent Roses, but it doesn't matter because if we looked at the opening kills, yes, they played more maps, but Emily is also there. She's always there. So I'm excited to see how both leaders compare coming into this matchup.
I am excited about that as well. We talk a lot about the boomer-zoomer ratio, and these the boomers in this case are going to be the ones to watch with this matchup. Of course, that leads me to one final question for both you girls. Who do you think is going to take this? Okay, Miss Harvey, I think I know who you're going to favor this grand finals, but you want to still say it for form?
Yeah, I hope that the CLG Queens come to the beam of light and win this game.
All right, Potter, how about you?
I'll go with CLG Red here. I want to see a dominant CLG. I want to see a statement to make that they can say, hey, we'll be consistent now. We'll be the queens in North America.
I'll be the contrarian in this one then. I have nothing to go off of because stats-wise, you guys are definitely on point with CLG, but I think that if the upwards trajectory from Dignitas continues that we've seen this week, they have what it takes to take down CLG Red in this grand finals. Let's see if Twitch chat has anything smart to say on this fine grand finals. They go for Dignitas.
Whoa.
There you go. They side with me. Very smart. Thank you, Twitch chat, making me sound a little bit more clever. But without further ado, it is grand finals time, and we are going to train.
Alrighty then, we're going to be jumping straight on into the final game of the day, the grand finals of the NA region. And joining me, as usual, is going to be Vince. Vince, you're looking fine. You're looking great.
Thank you. So are you, Blair. Always. You're a handsome man. But yeah, I'm ready to get into this. I have to make the extra effort. We're at the grand finals time. This is a huge match and a bit of a grudge match as well, as the ladies on the desk broke down. It's a game that has a lot of history, a lot of story behind it.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you're talking about the last time these two teams faced off, I was casting the finals. I remember it went all the way to the final map of Nuke, and it did wind up in overtime with CLG Red kind of stealing the win. And CLG Red have looked very, very good so far in this tournament. In Dignitas, though, it's been up and down, Vince. They've had their ups and downs, but I feel like with CLG Red, their style of Counter-Strike, where it's just in-your-face aggression, it could be potentially punished by the side of Dignitas.
Oh, absolutely. And it's a match that very well will be going the limit, you'd have to feel. In terms of this round, though, right off the bat, Dignitas have got up close and personal in the smokes. They've got the bomb planted down. Yuli trying to land some headshots, but taking a ton of damage in the process, down to 4 HP. Somehow, all 10 ladies still alive. For how much longer, yet to be seen. Emmy, big flick across, but now all the CTs are moving into the Glocks, and at this range, the Glocks are devastating. Down to just Jennifer and Goose, and they have got one, but it's looking like that's probably where this round comes to an abrupt end. Goose Breeder trying to spring around, but there is Emily for her 4th kill in the pistol.
Huge round coming in from the IGL, and she's been leading by example, right, for the team. And This matchup for me, it's all about, like, you know, obviously the winner is going to be crowned the Empresses of North American Counter-Strike, but it is so much on the line, and it's kind of a same old tale when it comes to EU and NA over in EU. We had Exet. Unfortunately for their opponents, they were not able to be taken down. They continue to be unbeaten in EU, and it's kind of been the same tale for CLG Red for almost a couple of years right now. So for Dig, I feel like they've been putting a lot of prep work. They've looked pretty good after they had that upset loss in the beginning of the tournament. You have players like Milk stepping up. We had Showdown looking great. Rain alongside Thea as well, the youngest member of this team. But then, Vince, you look at the CLG Red lineup and look at players like Diane. You see Jennifer, Yuli, Emmy. They just seem like individually the best players in the tournament. The thing is, I don't think they've been really tested yet so far.
Yeah, it speaks to that lack of consistency, perhaps, that Potter was touching on the desk, that we know that they have the pieces of the puzzle, but can they work together when it really counts? There's no doubting their individual prowess. There's no doubting how close this team is together. You just have to look at them on their comms. They look so relaxed and so calm. The scouts, though, starting to connect from Diana towards the back of the Pop Dog area, but she has to move out courtesy of that Molotov, and in doing so, Thea opens up her account for the round. Another scout shot has connected in this force buy round from CLG Red, but without any kits in play, do they even bother going for this, Blair? I mean, this feels like it could get out of control really quick, albeit with two low Dignitas players.
I do agree with you on that. They do, however... Oh, they're going to be pushing on in, and 2 quick kills from the pistols, Vince. You said they might as well go for the save, but now 3v3, a couple of players really tagged on up, and Emmy, she can go big here. She's got to find nothing, though. Look at the health on the final 3 players at 32, 30, and 28, but they hold on. Crucial round to win for Dignitas. They're going to go 2-0 up for CLG Red. Well, it's going to be just the pistols. If they had a kit, if a couple of shots connected, that could have easily been the round. But I'm surprised, I'm shocked, in fact, that the 2 players that got tagged down earlier on with the scout, they were able to stay alive at the end there.
Yeah, that could have been what effectively baited them back into that retake. And now they have basically nothing to play with, just 2 flashes. Goose has both of them at her disposal. It will be a stack over on B. I love that flashbang out for main, almost faking as if they've gone for an aggressive main hit. And then they all stack B side, almost trying to reverse psychology Dignitas into this side of the map. But to be honest, Blair, even if they do go onto B side, it's effectively full-on default pistols. You got 2 P2000s and USPs up against full assault rifles. This should still be a massacre, but maybe in this effective throwaway round where CLG just tap out, they can get 2 or 3 guns. That would be a success in itself.
That would indeed be a success, and they're slowly making their way into this bomb site, Vince. I do start to worry, because one thing of which I have no doubt is the individual prowess of all these players in CLG Red. It's going to be Milk making contact, spots a player out, and they're walking into the stack here, but the Galils and the AK-47s making quick work off that stack. This is well played indeed. Emmy's going to be left alone, and she's going to find nothing. I was worried for a bit there, but I like the way Dignitas played that. The spacing was good. They just worked together as a pack. They knew it was going to be just the pistols. And now it's going to be the real test coming out here for the T side. It's going to be the AWP once more in the hands of Diane. M4s abound for the CTs. Utility a bit sparse, however, Vince. They have 3 Molotovs, a handful of flashbangs. Sorry, a handful of smokes as well. 1 kit for Yuli. And with the utility they have, I'm expecting them to be a little bit more in the face of Dignitas. And you can clearly see Emmy. That's exactly what she has on her mind.
Yeah, this does allow you to mitigate some of the shortcomings and shortfalls that you may have as a lack of utility. If you can get up close, get those early alarm bells, that safety net in place. Joliana taking a lot of damage, but no early casualties. Emmy being flashed out. Tons of damage now inflicted outside as Yuli comes in for 2. And she may very well get more. Goose, though, takes away another one and Die on point to deliver. Joliana, first player tagged, last to fall, and CLG Red only lose 1 player.
They only lose 1 player. And one thing I noticed so far in the player cams is Emmy. She's no longer sucking on a lollipop. Vince, she was sucking on a lollipop the entire game they had in the semifinals, or rather the upper bracket finals, and they were just like chilling and having fun. And right now they are all in. They're super serious, like really focused, and you can clearly see that gun round, it comes out losing just to 1 player. A good shutdown of Dig's hit they attempted there. Of course, Dig have quite a money in the back, a little bit of wall bang as well. PS should be careful. And yeah, they have money in the bank to go for this buy. But again, for Dig, every single round matters. They can't get complacent. Although, that being said, Yuli getting taken on early is definitely going to give the slight advantage to Dignitas for the time being.
This is where everyone losing that one player in the previous round is going to do CLG Red the world of good. Even if they do concede this round, they should be able to afford again. But of course, they have their eyes on this round. Goose Breeder finally spotting Showdown, who pivots around for the headshot. She can't quite get to as Emmy now doing beautiful work with the M4. There's a triple spray, and they were all effectively against her, staring her down, and she still held her ground. That's an insane 1v3 effectively. And now Diana can come in, just pop down Thea. How is this round spun around from Dignitas?
It's Emmy. It's all on Emmy. They're pretty much sealing the deal, and Diane's like, you know what? You've done the work. I'm going to finish it off. They're coming through with the perfect flank with the AWP. What a round from Emmy there. Okay, I won't lie. It was a little surprising the third player didn't finish her off, but take nothing away. This is some fantastic work coming in from Emmy, the spray. The confidence not to just go for the spray transfer, where a little bit of RNG might come into play. Then she stopped finishing spraying on the second player and then just aim for the third, you know, so confident in her aim. And with that, Dignitas, there was a chance there getting the opening duel. They could have broken the money for CLG Red or made life miserable, but now they're going to be stuck just with the pistols, P250s, all 5 P250s on, well, 5 P250s on all the 5 players. And Goose Breeder dealing quite a bit of damage with the wall bang and, of course, the nade as well.
Yeah, that was the most impressive thing to me about Emmy, is like she was just stood there alone. It's not as if they all got weakened up by other players. Like, that was just a straight up 1v3, and she won all the duels. Jennifer has to spin around, good spray transfer, but ultimately her life will be deemed forfeit. Now, they can't really get their hands on any of those weapons for Dignitas, which is a bit awkward. As they stumble down through the smoke, they're getting perforated by Goose Breeder, who goes in for more, connects more, double spray, and they deny the bomb plant. Good round for CLG Red, especially after losing Jennifer early.
Good shutdown, considering they lost Jennifer. Not even able to get the bomb down has to be pretty wild. And you can see a bit of a couple of smiles coming on the faces of CLG Red, considering, you know, they were down 0-3 initially. For Dig, well, they don't get the bomb down, meaning that they will have to compromise a little bit when it comes to the utility and even the rifles. You have the Galil in the hands of Rain, barrage and nades raining in, but Rain's not going to take too much damage. Having quite a slow start to the game, Rain, one of the stars at his Dignitas side. Diane with the op, though. She's playing a pretty aggressive angle towards Brown Halls, and that's going to allow all 4 players, all the 4 other CT members of CLG Red to kind of go for a bit of a stack towards outside.
First shot will miss out. Rain now needs to get some damage done, but goes down to the wide swing of Emmy. Goes out a little bit too aggressively, and Emily punishes her. 1-for-1 trade, but what will be a bit of a concerning sign here, Blair, is that Rain is yet to get off the mark. She's normally one of those players that you look towards. Goose Breeder, patience the virtue, gets nearly a double spray, but Jennifer helps her out to clean up Thea, who tries to move outside. Player advantage, but Showdown, she's made moves around the side. She's in a great flanking position, but Jennifer doing her due diligence, make sure that gets shut down in its tracks.
Ooh, Emily gets punched in the face. Bear in mind, she's in a glass cannon and she's suffering from that aim punch potential. But a 1v3 now to 1v2 op in hand. They know exactly where she is. She's got the bomb, though. So you can just leg it for the inner bombs, and that looks like exactly what she's going to do. But look at how CLG are being proactive. I'm not sure if Diane can hear Emily. Oh, she does. She does. And immediately she's going to be rotating in towards inner. The thing is all about the timing. Emily, she's going to try and get the bomb down. 20 seconds on the clock. Bomb will be planted, and a retake is on.
Little round for Emily. They're both coming together. Oh, that's so unfortunate. She actually legs Yuli. Looked like it could have been the outright kill. I think she probably dies straight afterwards anyway, Blair. And there's a bit of BM. Okay. Okay. Yuli's just shaking her head like, do you really have to do it like that? We've already won the round. Maybe chill a little bit.
And that's the IGL, by the way, Vince. It's not like some of the younger players. You know, she's leading by example. One thing I'll tell you, having casted a few CLG Red games, watching them play, they do get up to some shenanigans in the server, like a few mating rituals as well. It's kind of, it's interesting. I hope to see more of that. It does kind of make me just, you know, crack a smile here and there. But right now, who's not cracking a smile is Dignitas. It's going to be Tech 9s though, upgrade from the P250 we saw a couple of rounds back, and they're going to be running in straight towards Jennifer, where she is all by her lonesome, and they're not wasting any time. They're going to come barreling out towards this inner bomb site.
Yeah, secondary smokes now being put into place. Jennifer just needs to stay alive. If they can see the plant, that's no real problem, but maybe she can hold the line by herself. Goes down to the hands of Milk. Ooh, big dink onto Emmy as well. Drops to 6 HP, nearly outright frag, but still spins on a swivel, takes off the head of Emily. And although she will fall, this is where you expect CLG Red to step tall and deliver the round. That molly instantly extinguished. Nothing Thea can really do with the Glock at this range. Very unlikely she gets anything from this. Flashbang in, surviving a bit longer than I expected, but Diane says, nah, we're going to have our 5th round in a row now.
All right, Diane, let's go! She yells into her gaming headset, Vince. And what is scary about a CLG Red team is once they start to get going, it's the individual prowess. I mentioned this earlier, and I know I'm sounding like a broken record at the moment, but they are just so good individually that despite the skill that's been displayed by Dignitas in their games who've had the opportunity to cast, I just feel like CLG Red have that edge when it comes to just pure duel-taking ability. So it's going to come down to whatever plans Dignitas have, and this is perfectly done, brilliantly done. They've sold this fake, and they've fallen for it, hook, line, and sinker. It's a 3v5, and if I'm CLG Red right now, Vince, I'd probably just go for the save.
Yeah, it's an exquisite round from Emily, who will go down, but 2 kills, fully selling this fake. The ruse has been bit down on, and CLG Red, yeah, they've got the money to afford. You can see that Yuli has over $10,000 by the end of this round, but I agree. You have an AK, you have the AWP. Think about the bigger picture. Just hold fire. Smoke replenished onto connector. Nothing that Jennifer can really do about this. It does seem that they're posting in sort of exit frag positions now, Blair. They'll try and make this as costly as possible for Dignitas, and it is going to sting. 2 more kills come into play, and although Dig will get their first round in 5 and get 4 in total, they will be feeling the economic burn a little bit after they replenish some of these guns.
They will indeed, but for Dig, it's just about the rounds, right? And now, entering round number 10. Beyond the halfway mark of this, of this first half. And yeah, I like how it just synced it perfectly. I was talking about how they need to dig deep in their reserves, the tactics they have on this T side of the map, and that's exactly what they did. Brilliantly done fake over there for the very first time, and it works out wonderfully, right? CLG Red now, they're going to be wary. Aggression towards Ivy. Flashbang was good, but it's going to fade away. And Diane and Yuli playing the anti-flash, and they're going to jump on across. Shot missed, and Yuli, there's nothing she can do. Showdown and Emily going to team up to take her down. And that's the opening duel, going the way of the T side. And they are posturing towards this this outside bomb side, and Goose, the timing could be atrocious. She's got on the open, but backup arrives in the form of Emmy as Goose finds a kill, and she stays alive, and Diane joins the fray as well.
Oh, Goose has no right to live through that, Blair. That looked like she was completely cooked, and yet still comes out with 19 HP, and now Dignitas trailed by a player. Sholiana tagged down heavily. They have no more utility to burst out on the site with. It's going to have to be raw peaks, but the timing could not have been sweeter. Goose Breeder was caught in an awkward position. Bomb now has been dropped, though, by Jennifer's M4, and although Emily was so very good in that previous round, it's a very different circumstance. She currently finds herself dropping to 12 kills, over 100 ADR, baits out a couple more shots, tries to flick across, won't be connecting, but knows there's enough space that she can force this plant. And now it changes the whole dynamic of this round from the pressure being on her shoulders towards Diane. The timing so nearly works against her. Diane will be closing the gap. It's all about the quicker reaction speed, and Diane does not miss.
She doesn't miss. There's a bomb. There is a bomb ticking, Diane. There we go. A little bit of a cheeky smile there. Oh, nice attempt from Emily, though. I really felt like she could have clutched that one out. Like, the timing didn't work out. She was scoped in perfectly on that green train, but just unscopes at the worst time possible. Could have definitely gone either way. The battle of the IGLs, the battle of the IGL AWPers as well. But Diane plays this one to perfection. Emily caught out in the open. And for Dig, they've called their first time out. 6-4, still anyone's half. And the money, one good thing they've done so far, Vince, is they've been keeping the money pretty honest for the CT side, right? Even when the CT side, when CLG Red are winning rounds, it's like with what, 2 players left alive, 3 left alive, and in this case, just Diane being the sole surviving member. So the money isn't in a good place. And if somehow Dig can win the next round, They won't be able to break the money fully, but they're going to make life a little bit more miserable for CLG Red. And there's a possibility they could go in a couple of round streaks, or maybe even string 3 rounds together here on the T side.
You raise a very valid point, because out of the 6 rounds that CLG Red have picked up, 3 of them have been defusals, and those 3 have come down to the wire. 1v1, 2v2 kind of situations. So that's why the economy still hasn't fully flourished. It's not exactly down in the drain just yet for CLG, but that can quickly change. Tactical timeout has came and gone. And after passing, Dignitas will be mixing it up somewhat. 2 players on Ivy. Yuli will be watching this one alone. They had the bait switch set up last time with the AWP. Smoke has fully deployed. Yuli at least has garnered some information. That's an AK and an AWP that she's heard, and she can relay that to the rest of the team.
Oh, she can indeed. Just the smoke giving so much information. The thing is, for Dig, they still have time to work with. Emmy is going to use that incendiary to tuck herself in towards Pop Dog. And once more, it's this 1-2 setup between Diane and Jennifer. Diane scoped on in. And once more, they're trying to sell this play towards outside, but the play is indeed going to be happening towards inner, but still, Diane's going to stick on around here. It's a player as Sholiana. What can she do towards Ivy? If she can get a pick, it could be big, but the hit's going to be coming on in, and Jennifer, it's down to her. She's got to go for the spray, finds just one, and will be quickly traded.
Oh, Diane missing out on a shot that she'll feel she should have landed. That keeps Dignitas with 4, and she took damage as a result, dropped to 16 HP. Goose Breeder, anticipating this flank is wrapping round, now will be rewarded with that patience. Excellent call, excellent retake, and CLG Red continue to stomp forward.
She's dead, Diane. She's dead. Oh, the lollipop's back, Vince. I take it back. They're back to their usual selves again. And that is a scary proposition if you're their opponents right now in the server. CLG Red, that was so well done, like you pointed out. Goose Breeder more than ready. She's like, all right, you're faking towards Ivy. All right, I see you. I know what they're going to do. And so patient while the remainder of the teammates perfectly timed flank coming in from Pop Dog as well. Just brilliant stuff all around. And I hate to point this out, but one of the stars of this team, Dignitas, Rain, she's yet to get off the mark, Vince. She has been just so quiet so far in this game.
Yeah, and she's normally one of those players that you look towards to just be consistent. You know, she's maybe not the player that's going to be dropping 30 kills every game, but she's always going to be there, like the glue of the team. And she's gone down first, controlling the bomb as Jennifer snaps in for a second headshot. Exquisite behold again for CLG Red, and Sholiana up on the catwalk is given a position away. The bomb's in an awkward spot, and Diane has laid her to rest. I wonder if the whole thing with the lollipop, though, is also, you know, if you're one of those kind of people that gets caught in 2 minds a lot, like you're just all over the place mentally, I think having gum or like sucking a lollipop very well could actually channel your focus a little bit more. Do you know what I mean?
I get it. Like everyone has a little thing, right? Like I guess Bardolph has that fidget spinner on his keyboard, for example. But yeah, everyone has their own little thing. And the scary thing for me is she seems to go Super Saiyan 3 whenever she has a lollipop in her mouth, which is terrifying, Vince. But here we go. Oh, that is so much damage being dealt on Sholiana and Thea. Sholiana especially taking the brunt of that because she didn't have any Kevlar. It's a very light investment, right? They're saving the money for the next round, but it is starting to worry me a bit here, Vince. You know, they've only won 1 rifle round so far out of the 12 that's been played. That's not a good sign.
That's pretty devastating, isn't it? The stats don't lie. It paints a pretty bleak picture. Yuli again. Been doing a solid job over here on Ivy by herself. Another 2 players over there. Thea joined by Sholiana. They're both tagged. Both definitely in the range of that M4, but a smoke has come through while Emmy is focusing her attention over on A main. It seems a bit disjointed now from Dignitas. They're moving out 1 by 1. They're being punished down. Yuli, another frag goes her way, and the spray through the smoke for a second. And things starting to crumble for Dignitas. It's yet another round going the way of the CTs.
Well, they didn't invest much there, Vince, and now they have the money. The problem right now for Dig, though, they only have 2 rounds to work with. Penultimate round coming up of the first half. And the buy, Wonder. No AWP for Emily. It's going to be the AKs. A lot of utility. They have virtually everything to work with. Question is, can they somehow get another round here is the question. Fast play towards Pop Dog. 3 players gonna dropping on down. And look at the mix-up from CLG Red. This could work out wonderfully, Vince. 2 players pushing up Pop, and there's no one inside Pop. Actually, no, take that bat. Emily's ready and waiting. But she might not be expecting this. The timing on this could be perfect.
Well, one's already dropped down as well, and now they'll realize that they're being swept on from 2 players. But Thea, another of the powerhouse players, has finally came alive as she shuts down 2, and now Rain is joining us on the server. A welcome sight indeed for Dignitas, and they do pick up a 5th.
That should have honestly gone so very wrong for the side of Dignitas. They had 2 players flanking in, CLG Red switching it up. I love the switch up as well. But then, like you pointed out, Thea just plucking heads with an AK-47 of hers. And then Rain, finally, yeah, welcome back to the server, Rain. It's so weird to see her not get any frags, but she does open her account. Just 2 kills though, but still it's a start as we do enter the final round here, the first half. 5 rounds on the T side. For some teams, they might be happy with that. Against a team like CLG Red, Dig would be looking for more. And this is their opportunity to get that coveted 6th round. However, Emmy switched things up this time around. She's going to be going back to her usual position towards Pop. They're going to be relinquishing Ivy control here. And they're going to be playing more upfront towards team main. Diane with the op scoped in. She's got Yuli covering her back towards Ivy. A 2-pronged position. Emmy taking quite a bit of damage. She's going to get forced out with the Molotov. Nope, she's going to stick around at the edge.
The early nade damage war, though, has certainly been won by CLG Red. Milk down to 38. Thea's been tagged a little bit as well. Flashbang out. Affords a bit of passage for Sholiana. It's a freebie of a frag. I'm not sure if the comms were off there, but Diane completely giving her back up for free onto Ivy. As Yuli sprays in alongside Jennifer, having a solid hold. Rain trying to pivot into the action as Yuli gets suppressed by Thea's AK. The CLG Red, they're still in this round, especially considering the 2 of the 3 players of Dignitas are low, but now it's a 1v3.
1v3 where the bomb has just got retrieved, and this is a smart call from Dignitas. They're like, they still have 3 players what's outside, but they knew where Jennifer was, and they're going to be heading straight towards the inner bomb site. Question is, will Jennifer get spotted out? Yes, she will. She's going to win the duel, but she's taken quite a bit of damage here. Vince, 41 HP in a 1v2. Now, Thea and Milk are kind of low, and they have no utility to work with, but so does Jennifer. Just a couple of flashes. 1 used up already. Another singular flashbang in her arsenal, but this should be unwinnable. She's got the kit though, but the 2 players are positioned perfectly. They can peek together, and even if one gets taken down, they can immediately trade. So Jennifer, she's just gonna no peek. All right, there we go. Thea peeks out for a moment there, Vince. That scared me.
Scared me too, Blair, but they'll have to think about that during the halftime break. We'll be back in a few moments, guys.
Creyendo que eres el solo que amé. Por eso te quiero mirando de noche y de días. La calor de tu cuerpo me llena de alegría. Yo no quiero olvidarte. Yo no quiero olvidarte, mirarte. Yo no quiero olvidarte. Yo no quiero olvidarte, mirarte. Si toda la noche andando llorando por verte, yo sigo creyendo que eres el solo que amé. Por eso te quiero mirando de noche y de días. La calor de tu cuerpo me llena de alegría. Yo no quiero olvidarte. Yo no quiero olvidarte, mirarte. Yo no quiero olvidarte. Yo no quiero olvidarte, mirarte.
Quiero tu calor, tu boquita, mi amor, dame tu sabor y tus labios de color. Quiero tu calor, tu boquita, mi amor, dame tu sabor y tus labios de color.
Esta noche quiero bailar.
Calor, tu boquita, mi amor, dame tu sabor y tus labios de color.
We all get days that go wrong. Sometimes it feels you can't go on. Don't let them win. Just reach down. You'll turn it around. All these roads we take helps us find. We will stand our ground.
Welcome back, everyone, and well, what a half it's been. It looked like CLG Red were kind of going to run away with it, Vince, but Dignitas able to win a very crucial couple of rounds at the very end of that half. Definitely giving themselves a chance on their map pick here. And now, pistol round. It's going to be imperative for them to kind of clinch this one to tie things up with CLG Red.
Stumbling over each other a little bit, Yuli and Goose, but they are going to get down the pop dog all the same. Smoke's put into the key positions. Rain, speculative shot through there. But Emily does get the drop onto one and can fall back. Yuli's head gets removed. And now CLG Red can try and force the bomb down, but Showdown still at the back of the site. Is pivoting in for kills. Goosebreeder comes back with two of her own, and is in hot pursuit for a third, but gets caught by Milk, who will not miss out on that chance. So Dignitas have the player advantage, but they do lack a kit for the time being, although one is dropped on the backside of the site.
I think Jennifer got spotted out. They know, and Thea's going to hunt her down. It's all on Emmy again, Vince. She has been quite impressive so far, but Thea shuts her down immediately with a bullet between the eyes. And Dignitas, yeah, they don't have a kit, but doesn't really matter. They have all the time in the world. And I do believe a few extra bullets into the corpses of the CLG Red members. I like this. Feisty, you know, they're not just fighting in the server, like, you know, when it comes to winning the rounds, but also a little bit of some mind games coming in. I love it, Vince.
Yeah, a bit of revenge as well, because keep in mind, it was CLG Red that did that a few times in the first half.
Yeah.
They were putting those extra bullets, that BM in, so they're like, listen, we're not above that ourselves. We'll get in your head too. And this is the thing, if you start the BM and then you end up starting to lose, that's going to have a compounded effect on you for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, we can all remember like how certain teams you're leading 15-8, 15-9 and just call a timeout just to get into your opponent's heads, and I like to see that. Although it is still a bit premature for me to imply it's going to be that scoreline. We still have a long ways to go here on this map. Rain, she's got 3 kills now. Still been a very quiet game for her. Showdown, the timing is atrocious, but somehow Diana, she does a double take, but she doesn't quite win the duel, and Showdown might have just pulled off the great escape here. But Jennifer finding Emily, it's going to make things weird. I don't know what's going on, Vince, but I do know it's a 2v2.
It's been an absolute mess of a round, hasn't it? Jennifer is low, now been picked off. Mac 10 sprays in, but Goosebreeder only 18 HP left. Wants to trade up to the FAMAS or the Galil. And now with the Galil, but only 6 bullets in the magazine. She needs to make each and every one of these bullets work, but she will not be afforded the luxury. Thea sprays her down, and Dignitas just about hold on.
Just about. That was chaotic as hell. This was funny. Oh, Diane. She spins around again, and Showliana giving a little bit of reprieve to kind of like recover and get the FAMAS in her hands. We do have a timeout getting called here. Once more by Dig, and if I'm not mistaken, Vince, I don't think CLG have gone for a single timeout so far. I mean, yeah, they were in the lead for the majority of the times, but I feel like at times it would be good to just talk things out. You know, you're going to be, although right now it's just going to be the pistols coming out, so, you know, fair enough. But we do have Dig definitely making use of each and every timeout they have. 9 to 8. This one should be a clean affair. You're going to be seeing a few upgraded pistols, a couple of Deeks, a couple of P250s, a singular flashbang in the hands of Yuli. And for Dig, yeah, the SMG should be going into just farm a bit of cash here.
Yeah, you want to treat this as a bonus for sure. Yuli can throw the up and over flash. Looking to pop into a bit of aggression from Goosebreeder, perhaps with the Deke. She's had a good game so far. Diane thinking about trying to cause a bit of mayhem over on the B side, but actually decides to pull back. Made a lot of sound cues, though. And this is one of those rounds as well, Blair, where CLG Red unlikely to get any kills. If they do, that's a nice bonus on top. But if you can draw away as much utility from Dignitas as possible, that's $2,000 or $3,000 that needs to get reinvested for the next round.
True.
That being said, though, Rain's having a great bit of effort down on Ivy, and it looks like they may just shut this down before it really gets dangerous.
Yep, SMG's getting almost all the kills. That's really good. You know, you want to farm that cash. Just the one kill going away Sholian as Galil. And Rain, slowly, hopefully, starting to build a bit of confidence. They're not going to be upgrading the weaponry, though, Ben. They're going to be sticking with the utility. Sticking with the SMGs, meaning it's going to be interesting to see where they go with this. CLG Red, of course, going to be having the AKs out, everything in a kitty, 5 Molotovs, 5 smokes, a ton of flashbangs and nades, and Yuli spots out the player that is Milk, but she will stay alive, and a lot of the utility being used by teammates to kind of extricate her from the position, but never mind, Emmy says no, and 2 quick kills in a span of a heartbeat.
Oh dear, bonus round for Dignitas, not really faring as well as they were hoping for. They're being completely devastated by this ruthless aggression from CLG Red. Only Thea remains. I say only Thea, she's had an excellent game so far in 16 frags, but it's more the MP9 that causes me a little bit of concern in the fact it's a 1v5. Maybe she could make this a bit of a stinging round on a couple players, but not really much else will be forthcoming, you have to feel. They will be able to buy into the next round, and it will include an AWP. Emily has more than enough funds for that. Nice frag onto Yuli, spins around, but no secondary kill comes through. So CLG Red do regain the lead, but they are on SMGs last round, Blair. They're going to have a much better buy this time around.
For sure. For sure. Sholian a little bit low in cash, and Emmy, man. She is the architect of aggression for this team. But when he timing, but Yuli's there to save the day. And it looked for a moment there, Vince, that the pistols could deal a bit of damage in Rain. Oh, that is just unfortunate. She spots the player, and Goose just takes her down.
Another fast round by CLG Red. Excellent spray transfer from Yuli and Top Dog, saving what could have been a little bit of a messier round. Dignitas, though, do not get any frags again. And so even within the confines and context of this round, Blair, it won't be ideal. They can't afford an AWP. 3 players already dropping to a FAMAS. Make that 4, and it could very well be the full house. Thea has to drop to 1 as well. So these are where you'd like to get a few kills in here or there. It's an extra grenade or 2. Maybe you can invest in an M4 instead. This is really grim for Dig. Like, they're on their last couple of lifelines now.
Oh, yeah, they are indeed. And 5 FAMASs, or is it FAMAS? I don't know. I believe there was a discussion on how to pronounce the plural of FAMAS, because it's an acronym, I believe, and it's a French word as well. Doesn't really matter. We can get back to it later on, because the FAMAS is putting in quite a bit of work. Milk and Rain finding a couple, but it will quickly be neutralized as Jennifer finds Milk. Rain needs to do her best to stay alive and, if possible, win a duel. And she's doing a great job just dancing around the train while Thea's going to come to her aid. And now the 1v2 firmly favoring the CT side. But Diane with the AWP, Vince, she could be deadly.
Yeah, she narrowly missed out earlier, but she's getting aggressed on from Rain, who won't be getting the pick because Emily and Thea stand up and deliver. Fair play, Dignitas. 5 FAMAS. They make it work. They keep 3 players alive, and they can trade up to some healthy rifles. And I think they may have even got the hand on an AWP on top of it. So that's a huge turnaround.
Oh, that was indeed, considering the weaponry they had. And CLG Red getting shut down there. And the upgrade as well, right? They pick up an AK. The AWP will be tossed on towards in the direction of their IGL Emily. And we know she's been solid so far. The big zoom banger. For CLG Red, though, they have oodles of money still to work with. And Bia should be careful. Her feet getting perforated by the AK-47 bullets, but she will smoke herself off. Repositioning herself. And double P comes in. And I just gotta say, like, the confidence play from CLG Red to go for that Brown Hall's control, and they're not walking out, they're announcing their presence there. At the same time, they just walk out Ivy with the double P. They're just taking control of the extremities of the map on the T side, mind you, Vince. And that just goes to speak how confident these ladies are in whatever they do.
Yeah, absolutely, and they get the reward from that. You know, Thea gets tagged, throws a smoke in straight away, is scared that she's going to get rushed down. They now have 1 smoke and 2 incendiaries, one of which has just been tossed out. Look how much time there is left, Blair. Like, this is nowhere near enough utility to hold down the fort in multiple angles when you have barely any information at all.
For sure. And Sholiana, oh, she's burning alive. Sure, she's taken so much damage there, Vince. And the utility, you touched upon it earlier, they're running out of it. Emily's got a final Molotov, which will be used as well, and now the hit's going to be coming on in. An instant headshot coming in from Goose Reader. She spots the second player out as well, Emily towards Heavens. And now, slowly but surely, they're going to come marching on. Emily does reply back, but from behind, Jennifer. Well, she doesn't even get the kill. It's going to be Diane, but Milk with a quick trade, and now a 2v3, again favoring Dignitas. However, as I say that, Diane finds another kill.
5 seconds to go. They're going to go for that plant, though, Blair. It looks like they will get the plant after all. Thea trying to deal the damage as they look to try and retreat. Tuck tail and run, and Diane, big up shot. That's 13.
Just the combat AWPing coming out from Diane there. I felt that round was done, Vince. It was a 2v3, and out of nowhere, Diane's hitting shots, stealing kills away from her teammates as well. Just look at this. She's just running out, scoping in. And to quote War, I'll just, you know, stop, scope, flick, fire. There we go. And it works out perfectly. Pistols out for Dignitas, though. They have 4 nades and a Macton for Goose. The nades are going to sail right on top of her. She will luckily stay alive, though. Fortunately for CLG Red, it was just the player with the Macton. And she's alive. It's not like she's dead. But that's going to allow the CTs to progress towards the T mains area, where they're going to be pushing on up. So a bit of real estate for the Ts, for the CTs rather. But Jennifer, she's aware of this. She's going to play this one safe. She's going to be playing, holding the back lines, while the remainder of her team are slowly going to be inching towards this inner bomb site.
Yeah, that smoke on Sandwich is all a ruse, but because they've pushed 2 players, they know that's the case. However, the patience from Jennifer nearly yielding 2 frags. They have traded 1 back, but now they need Emily to have a stormer of a round, and she misses out the chances. 14-10, CLG Red just 2 rounds shy of taking Dignitas' choice of map.
This is starting to look a little worrying here for Dig. It's a CD side, right? It's trained, it's a map pick, you know what to do, but CLG Red, they're just a tornado of guns just running on in, just out-dueling you, out-aiming you. And again, this buy is not the best. They have managed to pull it off with a worse buy earlier, Vince, with the 5 FAMASs, so anything could happen. But they don't really have much room to work with, like you pointed out. 2 rounds remain for CLG Red to close this map out and go to them map picks. And for Dignitas, they just need to claw their way back here, and it has to start with this round. Thea pushing on in, she finds one catch, she finds a second, almost does, but Jennifer with a quick trade, but she's down to 13 HP. Rotation's going to be taking place towards Inna. Are they going to continue? The foot will be spotted out by Emily, and Jennifer will be taken down. Quick trade taking place. The Diane finds one, finds 2, and suddenly it's back to a 2v2.
Diane is a monster with this AWP. Plant comes in, they have a Molotov, but it's in the hands of Diane, who would typically like to be up on the box wall, so just bank that molly off. That's the potential win condition, and she knows it, so she is going to start to fall back. Different angle, misses out this time, but at least keeps them at arm's reach. They do have a kit. It's in the hands of Rain. If she goes down in connector, so a few seconds they have to spin. Oh, that flick is beautiful from Diane, and she goes in for the 4K.
She's sick. Diane's just Big Daddy Diane, like, just wow. I mean, listen, here's the thing, Vince. If you're going to be shooting the corpses of your opponents and you have this to follow up with, my God, that flick. I'm sorry. Could I just get a replay of that again, like on loop after this round, hopefully? That was just sick stuff from Diane. Leading by example, Emmy 21, Diane 22, Jennifer in 21. Everyone's having a grand old time for CLG Red. For Dignitas, though, it is, oh, I do believe it might have a bit of a restart here. You can hear the chat, the click of the chat in the server. But even once the, you know, they restart the round, they restore the round, Vince, the money is not going to change. It's a very grim scenario here for Dignitas, and unless something really miraculous takes place, I feel CLG Red have this one in the bag. Oh my God. It makes me feel so old looking at these reflexes, Vince.
Oh, that is just an absolutely outrageous shot. So well played. The thing is, the scarier part isn't even the flick. It was her reaction to landing that 4K and putting herself at 15-10. She didn't bat an eyelid. She was like, yep, this is normal. It's like, for most people, that's one of the best plays that they've ever made. For her, it's just another day on CS. You know what I mean? Like, unbelievable.
It's like, I'm just better than you. You know, it's kind of like sometimes, you know, you have people smurfing in matchmaking, and it's just like you're like a GE or an SMFC or whatever, and you're just like dunking on goal novas. You don't celebrate after you drop a 50 bomb there, Vince. You just have the steely-eyed gaze. You're like, yeah, I'm just better than you. And that's Diane right there. It's absolutely just battering Dignitas. And yeah, like you said, they no emotions. The only emotions I've seen so far is just, you know, Emmy just giggling along and sucking on the lollipop while popping head. So CLG Red are here to play. I'm still hoping for a close series, though. I want to see CLG Red challenge, because so far in this tournament, they have looked nigh just unbeatable, untouchable, in fact.
No, absolutely. And, you know, you look at the context of this scoreline, you say 15-10, that's not that bad, is it? Yeah, but Dignitas won both pistols. And they converted both pistols. So 6 of their 10 rounds were off the back of pistol rounds. When it came to rifles, player, this has been pretty one-sided. It's been a little bit of a mismatch, and this is Dignitas' choice. So you feel like this was probably their best chance to get a good step forward. Inferno is coming up next. That, of course, was the choice of CLG Red, so you expect them to start on the T side. But it's not like their T side was lackluster here. It looked really solid.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you get 5 rounds on the T side for if you're Dignitas, right? You're like, okay, sorry, 6 rounds, in fact. I take that back. 9-6 scoreline, T side train. You're feeling pretty happy, right? And then you pull off the pistol round as well. Very clean pistol round coming out there. And you're like, yeah, the comeback's definitely on. And CLG Red just look you straight in the eye and say, what are you wearing? Those are the coolest gamer glasses I have ever seen. And she's even waving the lollipop around. I do wonder what are the props Emmy's going to be bringing out at the end of this. Look at that. They're just eyes of a stone cold killer.
I hope she wears them while playing. Don't take them off. Keep them on. Just for the extra style points. Super relaxed and chill. Good to see some smiles on the faces of Goose Breeder there, and understandably, I mean, you are effectively 5 map points in the grand finals DreamHack Showdown. It's a good time to be happy. You also have to keep yourself focused, because the job's not done just yet, Blair. Dignitas have shown us that they do have resilience. They can come back from this.
They can. You can never count any players out, anyone out. It's a beautiful thing. That is a wonderful thing about Counter-Strike. I won't lie though. I did want to, like, you know, see Dignitas. I don't want to be a doomsayer here, but I do want it to be a close game. I wanted to take a map and it to be a banger of final map, just like we had in DreamHack Showdown in summer. Because if you look at our desk, they're a pretty biased crowd if you think about it. Cheever's the only nice one, and you have Pansy, and you have Miss Harvey and Potter on the desk, and they're like, yeah, CLG, let's go, girls, blah blah blah. And I'm like, you know what? I want to support the underdogs. I want to root for them. And unfortunately, turns out it's still not going to go their way. CLG Red just looking unstoppable at the moment.
Potter must have an outrageous percentage of correct predictions, by the way, because she was the only person that went for Violent Roses to beat Dig earlier in the tournament. They did it. Is she on 100%? She might actually be.
I feel like Potter's not even human at this point. Like, you can't even, like, determine how old she is. Like, what is she, 40, 20, 25, 30? Like, you can't, right? And you know what? You know who other, like, what other creature you can't really figure the age out of? It's usually an android or a cyborg. Someone is not human, so yeah. And plus, she's able to see the future by the looks of things. Yeah, I agree with you. Her prediction rates have been indeed quite mental.
Also performs like a cyborg. Was straight up wrecking me in the 10-player matches we were having on Face It the other day. Outrageous AWPing skill. Not a fan.
I'm not a fan. I was on the receiving end there. It was painful, Vince. I had 140 ping. The ping's not even an excuse. I was just wide swinging, and she shouldn't be able to hit me. But those Android reactions and that, yeah, she's good.
That's the thing. Even if you did use that as an excuse, I had like 20 ping, and I was getting, getting destroyed. So I have no excuse at all, other than being a boomer. But nah, I don't think that there's even that much of an age difference, even though it looks like we're about 3 decades older than Potter.
I think Potter's like the same age as you.
I think so, yeah.
Which is, yeah, it just makes us feel bad, doesn't it? And here we are just raging at matchmaking, and oh boy. All right, so I guess it was Sholiana who got disconnected. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen, instead of you guys having to be subject to my ramblings, we're going to be going to a very quick break, and hopefully we should be back with the game. Thank you everyone for the patience, but we are finally back. It looks like everything has been sorted out. It feels like it was a lifetime ago, Vince, that we were talking about the economy looking rough for Dignitas, and well, you know what? Nothing has changed. It's still looking pretty rough, and CLG Red 1 round away from taking map number 1.
Yeah, the economic situation may have not changed much, but momentum, I do have my concerns maybe for CLG Red going off the boil somewhat. So can they bounce right back in? Dignitas trying to take a bit of aggression themselves. Ivy Control going the way of Rain, who smokes herself into a good position. And Thea, who is typically the anchor over on B and has had a lot of great performances over the duration of the DreamHack Showdown, has been smoked out of spot. Trying to spray him with the MP9, comes out second best, but does a lot of damage there, Blair. 2 players nearly falling to her wake.
Yeah, that's crazy damage. A little unfortunate she wasn't able to get a single kill, though. But Diane with the AWP, this is what we're keeping an eye on. But look at how far the bomb is still from the bomb side. As Shoali and Emily, they're going to strike, and they're still going to go for the inner hit. Or they know they're going to be heading straight towards outside, and it's going to be coming down to Jennifer here. Then she's going to smoke off connector. She's got a nade and a flashbang, clearing out all the potential angles. It could be CT looking around, and Goose is going to get the bomb down. But the retake, it's looking very winnable here for the Dignitas because they do have the 1-player advantage. But is it going to be enough? That's the question.
Might not be. Goose is certainly still feeling it. She sprays down for the first. It's all down to Emily. She had a great opening. Few rounds. She's being tagged and whittled away slowly but surely. Has a kit still, and the smoke down the site affords her the luxury of going for a different peak, but now she's given that angle away. There's the spray, and Goose Breeder will put this map to bed. Later than they're hoping for, Blair, but they get it done 16-10.
They do get it done, and well, I mean, they're looking pretty calm and composed there. Maybe not Emmy. She's cackling like an evil mastermind that she is. Diane as well. What a performance from Diane, Jennifer, and Emmy, though, right? And again, taking nothing away from the other two teammates they had, but it was like everyone was popping off. That second half, the T side was just pure confidence coming out from the side of CLG Red. And heading into the map pick, I do start to worry even more for their opponents.
As do I, Blair. They won both pistols. They still lost 16-10. Grim in the rifles. But we'll find out after the break if they can get it done. First, though, we will head to the desk.
The first map of the grand finals here for the North American department of the DreamHack Showdown. Winter goes the way of CLG Red. It was the map pick from Dignitas, but they were not able to show their full strength here. I'm here with Potter and Miss Harvey, and I know there was a little bit of a big break in between the last round and the rest, but we're gonna go all the way back anyway, because I'm very curious to hear, Miss Harvey. I think we were specifically expecting more from Dignitas on the CT side. Is that correct?
Well, you know, I thought they got away with a lot of rounds. The first half, 9-6, was actually a very big win for Dig. It could have went their way. At some point, it was 9-9, and I thought we had a game in our hands, but then the CLG Red machine took over. And look at these stats all across the boards for CLG Red, except a little bit Yuli trailing behind. Major ADR from everyone, and just almost everybody reaching 20 kills. And Dig is just to have to show up more. Rain, Milk, Juliana, not doing a lot here to help their team.
And Potter, I mean, we see the stats and they're really good for CLG Red. Are you looking at anyone in specific that you felt like delivered the most this first map?
It's got to be Diane, right? I mean, her flicks, her op right now, it's on point. And she was having some DM sessions on this map for sure. But yeah, I mean, I got to agree with Steph. In the beginning, things were looking good. And it was kind of that counter game. You saw Emily and Sholiana doing work towards that Ivy. And eventually, that's what got them those 6 rounds on the board. But man, just these shots. Take a look at that flick. That's ridiculous coming out from Diane. Just it's beautiful scenes, and it's got to feel good to be able to perform like that in the grand finals.
Absolutely. And speaking of beautiful scenes, I believe we're going to see a beautiful drawing board from you, Steph.
It was a long time ago, so I hope that you guys remember what happened in round number 18. So let's go on the board. It was 9-9, like I mentioned. And right at the beginning, I want to show how crucial these early rounds have been for CLG Red. Yuli here taking that pick, and she's gonna take so much time into that T-con area. She's gonna challenge Milk and Juliana for the longest time. And that's gonna allow Emmy to run down ladder and just cover that fight, cover that angle, and get these 2 kills. But it's not over. Right after that, the whole CLG machine gets activated. The flashes, the smokes left and right, just everywhere. And the trades. Like, this is just beautiful stuff. This is all teamwork on the fly. If you do this, Yuli, I'll try to get that ladder pick. And let's look at Emmy in her eyes and see what that does. She gets those 2 kills and then open up the site for CLG.
Yeah, spectacular. And it's making me a little worried. Potter, you said there was a good chance this was going to go to 3 maps again, but heading into the next map, it's going to be CLG's pick. It's going to be Inferno. Are you still sticking with that?
Oh man, I think Dignitas, they definitely needed to win this train. Inferno, it's a toss-up for me. I'm not sure what to expect for Dignitas coming through. again, we see Inferno and it demands these players to be very thorough with their protocols. And I'm just not sure how far along they are in the process of incorporating Show Liana, what her role is going to be, what bomb site she's going to be defending. But again, CLG Red, that set piece that Steph just illustrated on the drawing board, we're going to see a lot more of those on Inferno. So hopefully Dignitas is able to have an answer for it.
I hope so too, and definitely with the preparation that we hope they've done, that was one of their strengths going into the whole tournament actually. Hopefully they can lean on that, and with their preparation, force out that third map. But we're gonna find out first how they do on the second map. It is over to Inferno.